Last month, hydrogen energy stock Plug Power announced an extended contract with Walmart to bring energy to its supply chain and forklifts. But the stock over the last couple of weeks has continued to decline and extend a downdraft from the highs. It's now at around 77%. Let's bring in the CEO. Joining us, Andy Marsh, President and Chief Executive Officer at Plug Power. Andy, welcome back to the program. Thank you for being here.
Great to be back, Oliver.
Okay, what's going on, Andy? Stock's getting creamed. It sounds like you've got a good optimistic attitude.
Oliver, I'm experienced. I started a broadband company in 2001 in the telecom industry, which had a successful exit in 2007. I started our relationship with Walmart back in 2008. And today, we provide almost 10,000 units in the Walmart fleet and did this 20-ton-a-day hydrogen deal for green hydrogen. In 2020, in March, I actually did the deal that allowed us to move into green hydrogen and start the vision to build out the green hydrogen network across the United States. I've actually found my whole life what people think are bad times are the great opportunities to continue to grow and build great businesses. And we're at the fortunate position where we have a strong balance sheet. We don't have to go to the market.
Okay, so in terms of your cash and the money on hand to do what you need to do to change the world of energy, walk us through that right now. You're saying you don't need to use the stock, don't need to use debt markets?
We don't need to use the stock. We don't need to use debt markets. So, we have sufficient cash for the next 3 to 4 years, if not longer. So it's not really a big issue for Plug Power.
Andy, what about, go ahead.
No, I just think it's a very, very fortunate position. Having built the first first market for hydrogen and fuel cells, with the relationships we have, with the partnerships we have, we're in a great position. And I think the market will eventually recognize when it recovers. There's really one stock that you want to own if you're in the hydrogen and fuel cell industry.
So no new debt, Andy. The debt that's on the balance sheet, give me the latest. I know you've got earnings coming out here soon, shortly, but as of the last reading, a little less than $500 million in debt on the balance sheet. Not much compared to some of your peers.
We don't have much debt, and most of that debt, Oliver, if you go look at underneath of it's supported by cash flows from customers during the next 3 to 4 years. So that debt is strongly supported by inflows from people like Walmart.
What's the priority right now, Andy? Is it still those connections, the customers like Walmart, as you mentioned? That's been a key relationship of yours that you've had since taking over in 2008 for this business. Where else is the low-hanging fruit for hydrogen right now?
So if you look at it, Oliver, our electrolyzer business, and I've been public about this before, and we'll talk more about it on our earnings call, I'm sure, is our funnel for electrolyzers is over $15 billion. Our plan is to book over 1 gigawatt worth of electrolyzer business this year. You can equate that to almost $1 billion of bookings. We feel, we've been public about, we expect $2.5 billion of bookings. So, we are continuing to build this business through these difficult times for the markets, but not a difficult time with our customers and our partners around the world.
Is profitability something that's on your mind, Andy, or is this going to be growth and business and client acquisition at any cost? Because earnings in the last quarter are still negative. They're about as negative as far as the eye can see in the past. It doesn't seem like that's been a priority, but the market right now has been punishing companies that don't look like they're ready to turn that corner. Do you worry that the timeline's been advanced here at all by what's happening in the market?
So when I look at it, Oliver, key to our profitability is really having our green hydrogen network deployed. Our targets are having 7 tons of green hydrogen by the end of this year, over 500 tons by the end of 2024. And green hydrogen significantly changes, I think, as the market knows, our costs of hydrogen, reducing it by more than half. That'll be a big step for really propelling this business. And green hydrogen actually opens up lots of apps for us. Very much what we're doing with Renault in France with HYVIA, very much what we're doing with SK in South Korea for stationary products, and with Fortescue in Australia for electrolyzers. So with Plug, it's full stream ahead, and we feel we're on track for our 2025 targets, which would have our EBITDA of around 20%. So we feel very comfortable about what's going on. And I think when the markets turn, Plug's the stock to buy. And
Andy, when you are expanding that energy, when you gave us the quote there about the amount of energy you want to be supplying by certain dates, how is that linearly related to your amount of revenue, or what is that cost of? Is there a certain cost with acquiring new customers? Is it about getting in front of them through advertising? Is it about them having some incentive from their government to get off carbon? Or should we generally think that if Plug Power hits the energy goals by a certain date, its revenues will follow directly with it? Is that an assumption we can make?
I think that's a very fair assumption, Oliver. And I think that we've been successful with some government support, but we will be successful whether government support is there or not. We'll even grow faster if some of the climate provisions, which is strongly supported by the energy states. I mean, I spent time with 3 U.S. senators over a half hour each last week from states that you think about as fossil fuel states, and all of them believe hydrogen is a key to their future. And Plug, quite honestly, being the category king, aligns very, very closely with their goals and ambitions.
Okay, looking forward to the earnings. Andy, thanks for jumping on with us beforehand. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Oliver. Bye now.
Absolutely. See you, Andy Marsh, President and CEO at Plug Power. Confidence sky high.